enjoying this edition of DXB. Today we've got ourselves a little bit of a summer travel special for you. It's marking a card, giving you a bit of advice of what's hot, what's not, and how to get there in one piece. And to that end, does travelling stress you out? Our next guest is here to make it easier for you. Welcome, the Vice President of Commercial and Business Development at Airport Operations Dubai. Here is Tim Walker, who joins us live here on the sofa. Tim, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Kind of you to join us. As was mentioned a little bit earlier on, busy time for the airports here in Dubai at the moment. We know that Dubai Airports does so much to maintain that flow and make it as stress-free as possible. Online check-ins, your DUBZ services now, getting to airport early, loads to do in the airport. But good old Marhaba is still there, the service that I think, I've been here for 25 years. I'm pretty sure Marhaba has been around much longer than that.
1991.
91, okay, so much longer. How has the Marhaba service evolved during that time?
Yeah, I think it's really been an incredible journey. I mean, Marhaba is born out of providing Arabian hospitality. And it's all about how we can enhance and create a seamless journey for passengers going through the airport, whether that be DXB or DUBZ. And I think what we've seen over the years is people really want this personalised touch. They want these unique experiences. I think you talked a little bit about this. So Marhaba is been on that journey for quite a number of years, and with our most recent announcement was integration with DUBZ, and you mentioned, it's really about how we expand Marhaba's airport capabilities off airport and bring the airport to your home and do some of those processes in the comfort of your home, avoid the queues. You can take a little bit less time to get to the airport if you wish, but it's really about how you extend those capabilities to make things seamless for people travelling through the airport.
Amazing.
Tim, I haven't used Marhaba since I arrived in this country 17
You're
years
missing
ago. I apologise for that. But for other people that haven't used it or haven't used it in a long time, can you kind of talk us through it and how it alters the experience of moving through the airport?
Yeah, so if we start with, say, check-in anywhere, this is the off-airport process where we'll send a Marhaba agent to you in your home or your hotel, and they'll be able to perform that check-in process. So they can check you in, give you a boarding card, tag your bags, and then take the bags to the airport. So when you're ready, you can just come to the airport and you're free to go. You don't need to go to the normal check-in process. And then our meet and assist agents at the airport, we have about 600 employees. They'll meet you, say, at the curbside as you get out of your chauffeur drive, and then they'll escort you through customs, immigration, security to fast track you through. So you can get into duty free if you want to do some duty free shopping, or end up in the lounges. Who doesn't, absolutely. Or end up in the Marhaba lounges, which we have in all terminals across DXB Airport. And it's really for you to unwind and relax in a comfortable environment before you then board your aircraft. So it's a really amazing experience. We also do the reverse when you land. So we meet you on arrival at your gate. We'll take you all the way through the baggage process, get you into a chauffeur drive and get you home.
I enjoy traveling, but I don't enjoy the actual airport experience of standing in queues. So I think for someone like me, this is absolutely perfect because I'm a bit of a temperamental traveler. So I want to ask a little bit about once you land in Dubai, I mean, you briefly touched upon it, the land and leave experience. That sounds fantastic because, I mean, you've had a long holiday, you've probably got a little bit of blues from being back, anxiety of getting back to work or family or routine or whatever. So the last thing you want to do is be stuck in queues once you've landed in your destination.
Yeah, absolutely. The land and leave service is perfect for residents within the UAE, and it's really aimed at making sure that when you land, you get through the airport as quickly as possible and at home. And what we do for Marhaba is we'll collect your luggage at the luggage carousel, no need for you to wait around, and we'll send that luggage back to your home later on. So it means you don't need to have your bags, you can just go straight home. We've all been on those flights where you land at 2 in the morning and you just want to go to bed. We've all been there.
Yep.
And this service is really aimed at doing that.
Can we avail that for guests coming into the country if they're not residents? Like, I've got my mum coming in next week and she comes bang on Eid, and I'm like, you couldn't have picked a worse day to land in DXB Airport. Is that something I can get for her?
It's available for everybody, anyone who lands.
Okay.
So our services for meet and greet, lounge, land and leave is anyone arriving or departing from DXB or DWC airports. I just booked that actually for my parents 2 weeks ago when they arrived from Melbourne.
Oh, amazing.
Any other tips for kind of getting through that airport as seamlessly and smoothly as possible for maybe those of us that like to get there an hour and a half? For a friend, I'm asking for a friend.
I think you touched on it a little bit earlier. You talked about planning. Planning is critical, particularly in the summer peaks. we've all been there waiting in queues and waiting in, even in just the car to get into the airport. That can always be a challenge sometimes. So planning is critical. Understanding what you are looking for. If you want to go 4 hours early and do all that shopping, by all means, please do, but planning is key.
Now, Tim, we were talking just before camera started rolling about aviation and
Yep.
you know, our backgrounds in aviation. And now you've worked across procurement, operations, different sectors of the aviation industry. Can I ask you, how, in your view, how has Dubai evolved when it comes to the passenger journey, you know, over the years?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I've been here for 13 years now, and in that time we've seen the introduction of e-gates. I think we're all familiar with those.
Yeah.
The new smart tunnels where you don't need to go to a gate, you just walk straight through. You've got biometric check-in and lounge access. You've got pre-ordering of meals. So there's really two themes that are popping out. One is technology, the adoption of technology. The other is personalisation. People want a personalised experience.
True.
And I think we're seeing that merge closer and closer together as we continue to evolve within aviation. It's how do we go to hyper-personalisation through the adoption of technology to aid that?
Just very quickly before we wrap up here, in fact, we're going to ask you to stick around, but just for the benefit of viewers, Marhaba service, best way to book it, and how far in advance should one book as well?
Yeah, you can book all the services on marhabaservices.com.
Okay.
You can book in advance up to 24 hours,
Okay.
and we can generally guarantee availability. And then within 24 hours, still bookable via our call centre, but we need to check on availability in those peaks.
Perfect.